Welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith. Where have you been? When's the next video? Yeah, this is what I'm getting. Email, text messaging, comments from my YouTube, comments from my Facebook, and occasionally a phone call. I love all you guys that are out there, and that's motivation, but it can't always create a video just because of that. Back when I first started making videos, I wanted customer awareness, and that's the reason why I made that for the locals here in my community. And over the winter we got jammed with the hardest hit winter that we've had in a while, and has really it put the blanket down and held everybody off till the last minute to do anything until spring. Not that they put off everything to spring anyway, but spring just seemed to like be a light switch and turned on automatically, and then I got hammered. But I already had work in here as well, so I was just overwhelmed with that on my plate here in the shop. And also we had Vanessa's mom went in for some surgery, and she's doing some chemotherapy, and there was some trips going down to South Carolina, and there's a lot going on the family basis as well. So I'm spread out pretty thin, and that's really the reason why the video slowed down. I'm ready to create videos, and this is one that I want to touch bases with you, let you know that hey, I am still alive, and I'm raring to go, and I'm just kind of waiting. The business is getting down to where it's just busy, which is good. That's where I like to have it. We need jobs to create videos for most of my videos, and we find our best subject matter that way. Vanessa's mom is doing a little bit better here, and that's a little smoother, and that's kind of easing up a little bit of the pressure that I feel. I handled my dad passing on a little over a year ago, just like Adam's father shortly before mine, and both of us took a hit. But I was real good with my dad, and I was real close, so it was very easy to not feel so much direct impact on the flow of my videos and everything. But with this affecting Vanessa, it affects me a little bit more, because she's very important to me, and the attention that I concentrate on that, it was actually more than I concentrated on myself and my dad's issue there. All right, so anyway, we're here and we're going to talk. That was a little bit about where I've been and why I actually have the slowdown. And now let's go ahead and look at a few things that got going on in the shop. All right, I happen to have a couple samples here of a couple of the jobs that I've been getting moderate to semi-moderate quantities of production. And everybody, in fact, actually I've been posting a lot of my activities, even though I'm not doing videos, on my Facebook page, and my Facebook page now is located on my banner. Now my Facebook page is more or less me cutting loose. You get to see a little bit more of my life. I tend to raise chickens, and I have a couple other things, and I have family and friends, and once in a while they'll be doing some postings, and a lot of my friends on Facebook have things to post. Some of them are machine orientated or welding orientated, and I share some of my work that I do in the shop. That's just kind of quick glimpses. I'm not really creating videos about it, but I'm giving a view of what my daily activity is, and some of that is what Facebook's all about. If you're going to be posting things, keep all your pictures kind of in the same post so you don't take up my timeline. I will regulate and monitor my timeline, and if it's something, I get a lot of chicken jokes as well, and if it's been given to me before, I've seen it before, sometimes I take those off of my timeline. I don't delete them, I just take them off of my timeline. But we have fun with that as well. So if you're coming over to my Facebook, it's not 100% regiment of what's in the shop, somewhat like my videos are. Anyhow, here's a couple things. Actually, I'm getting ready to clear this off the table, so I wanted to show you before I did. And these are precast lifting pins, and the pin part is the section that I created for my customer, and I made 25 of them. I burned out a template for the taper I wanted, set it up on the lathe, used a tracer attachment, and I turned all of these. The pins are 41 series steel to ensure that they've got a little bit better than just a standard cold roll or hot roll. This is just hot roll plate, 1/2 inch, and I cut out the plates themselves, the holes. Went in and just made a 1-punch setup in the mill for the big hole, and just down through to make sure that any tapering or whatever in this hole had enough clearance for the little link that swings through this opening right here. And one side there, you just got to make sure it has enough clearance, and I just made sure that it was clean. And I ran everything into weld positioner sitting over here, so my welds all stayed really nice and uniform. And here's a few pictures of this project along the way. All right, another thing that I've been really tied up with a couple orders through this winter, and they've been increasing, and the next orders promise to even be bigger, but just like I have over in the window here. But these are plant hangers, and this is the Cape Cod. Now, I don't sell these. I make these for somebody that does do the retail. All I do is create the cutout, cut and make the bar, weld them up, put them in a box, and that's what I do for my customer. This is a codfish. Same thing, plant hanger. This is the hook arrangement right here. All right, and this one here was a fun design, and I went ahead. The cape was pretty much copy. This codfish is actually my own design, and I make that for them. I don't make this for anybody else. I only make it for them. Then they wanted to add to their collection the mermaid, and we had some fun with this because I posted. These are the kind of things that I post on my Facebook, and you got to see in the making, because I actually weight tested my mermaids, and I did that on my Facebook there as well. The mermaids now can hold 75 to 80 pounds. So if you got some of them heavy plants, anyway, there. Now I think I'm gonna be playing around here in the future, but I'm gonna make the mermaid all by herself and kind of shorten her up a little bit and bring her out a little bit and polish them up, and I think she'd look good on some of these Cape Cod truck mud flaps around the Cape here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clear this off of here because I want to go ahead and bring it. I've got some mail in that's come as early as last fall. Yeah, I've said that I don't like production, but it doesn't mean that I won't do production. And a case-by-case base is how I look at production. And of course, like everybody else, you got to put food on the table. Most of the case, I'm doing it for a little bit more than the feeling that I only have to put food on the table. But I tell you what, when you get to the end, or the last bit of production, you're pretty well drained. You know, I've sit there and set up and do something, and then from being in that position for long periods of time, especially when I'm welding those figurines right there to the back. I did 2,000 tacks or 1,000 tacks and 2,000 welds in one day's time, and I found myself leaning over, and then I was like holding my body up to get the last handful, because I was doing them in sets of 10. So I keep track. So I kept, everything was done in 10. So it's just easier to keep track of it as you're going along. So you go ahead and you prep 10, you weld 10, but right on through, because when you grab a hold of one, you don't want to put it down and pick it up. And you'll play with that with any of your productions or whatever. The shortest amount of time from the first time you pick it up to the last time you put it down, the minimum amount of times of picking up and putting down is knocking seconds off of everything. So production, yeah, I don't like it, and but you do have to take it on sometimes, and you just make the best of it, you know. All right, what time is it? It's time for viewer appreciation. Thanks for the shirt, Adam. Actually, I ordered it when Adam had his shirts online there, and I got a nice gray one here. That's a smoke color. I kind of like this. And I got one of the original ones, not one of the knockoffs. What? You know, some people. All right, let's get on here with a collection that's been sitting here, and actually my collection sits around and gets dust because I don't do a regular viewer appreciation. Not that my appreciation is not regular, it is. I get a lot of things, in fact, actually I feel guilty and I don't even take it out of the box because I really haven't done a viewer appreciation. But I think I'm going to start. I'm not going to have a viewer appreciation moment, minute, or whatever. It's going to be when something applies into one of my regular videos or whatever. I will then apply some thank you. Other than that, I will probably send you something in the mail, just like my little stickers, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later because I have a special episode there as well. But I slip my Get Her Done stickers, I slip those into everything that's ordered through the swag shop, and also when my pop-aways sell, I put that in a couple hats and a couple other things in the shipment as well. All right, I'm just blasting through these pretty quick, but they're all related to you know, something that's going to pop up in the future here. And you know, I had planned on making a tool post grinder for my lathe, and I guess it's not going fast enough for some people, and I actually have to put a few parts together, and Robert D actually sent this to me with a couple other items, but he sent this to me, and I'm going to be putting this together, and I think I got the spindle and the carrier, all of that in this box over here. And it's kind of like a puzzle piece, so everything's kind of like shipped out separate. Here's the holding bracket here, here's the motor, and we got a guard, we got some stones, and what I need to do is go ahead and I'm going to be making up a couple spindle parts or purchasing those if I can find them, and then I'm going to be setting up and doing a video on regrinding my lathe chuck jaws. I'm going to do the 3-jaw, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tear it down to parade rest, just like I did when I first got that lathe 18 years ago. And actually 20 years ago I got that lathe. 18 is how long I've been in this building, and I got it a couple years before I came into this building. So we're going to be playing with that, and that's going to relate to a video. And this is where I'm going with my viewer appreciation. All right, but I wanted to hit kind of everything here. This was actually kind of fun and actually surprised me right off the bat. And of course, some of my videos, you see the giant square that I have on the wall, and I built that I used to do a lot of pulpit and tower work, and that was my jig basically to get the cradle and the support for the stern or the bow bowsprit support for the pulpit, and that angle from the cradle and down there let me come back here and actually build the unit almost complete with only one fit up down at the boat, and then it was done. So anyway, here's the T-bevel that he's made, and all right, there's an atom size square. Actually, that's really to have something when you're coming out and you're laying out and you're working on a 4x4 or bigger or whatever. Just lots of times you need that extra distance out, and that is cool. And there's just two pieces. This is folded, come around, drilled, nice slot here. It does look like it's plasma cut out, and this is probably flat stock, maybe sheared and then just beveled there, and hand radius here. Very, very nice job, Roger. And just kind of personal gift, he says. He did a lot of work in metal work in San Diego, sport fishing boats, and sorry it's late for Christmas. Of course, look how late I'm opening it. All right, I want to thank you very much, Roger. All right, this here is from Kirby, and I think Kirby. No, that one with that. Okay. Oh no, it's right in here. These are two bearings. My way of saying thanks. Continue the videos. Hopefully you'll be able to use them somehow in the future. All right. So they're basically off of different things that he's had. 87 4x4 Toyota and brake drum assembly. Couple nice big bearings. Actually a lot of things. Hey, just like Adam doing that weld positioning table and stuff like that. This is, you know, this is the kind of thing you need laying around so that you can create things like that. And that's great. Okay, and I see the box in here. Here's a smaller one. Nice. That's a shielded or sealed. Pretty well wrapped up. All right, Kirby, thank you very much. I'll put that in my bearing collection, and that you never know when you're going to need them. You know, it's they float in and out. Sometimes they're in there for only a couple months, and sometimes they're in there for a couple years. But when you go back and you grab something, sometimes you can modify something you're making just to fit a good bearing that you have, and mix and match. But you get what you want. All right, moving on here. Steve here. Horsey, Westford, Mass. Do I need an apprentice? No, I thought not. But if I change my mind, he'd be glad to come down here. He's about 100 miles from here, and if I need a pit stop there off of 495. Yeah, I'll definitely look you up there. All right, what you got in here? Hey, a couple nice clamps. Okay, it's like a toe clamp there, and here's a quick pull lever, cam lever right there. And looks like we got a foot here. Yeah, it looks like that kind of fits in there. And we got another little doohickey in there, might go in there somewhat. We'll see if the other one has some kind of an instruction there. If not, we'll look online and we'll figure out the right way to use these and see if they come into play at all. All right, I want to thank you very much for that. It's a puzzle just to get it in there. we will have to look up online. At least we have Jurgensen is the name of the clamp there. All right, Steve, I appreciate that. Sometimes in here on the, I need new ways of locking and clamping things down for some of this production work. All right. All right, Kelly Sampson made a package, put it together, and very pleasant talking with. He talked with me on the phone there, and Vanessa answered the phone, and she called it Storm Central, and we were having a storm at that time during the winter time. It was a pretty good one. It wasn't the worst one we had, but we had a lot of continuous, and that's what made this winter bad. The one storm there was, I think, our second largest storm since we've lived here. I had one. I actually couldn't find my vehicles, and that was pretty good. All right. So he sent some gloves, and if they don't fit me, and the smaller ones there for Vanessa, he says in there, and for helping me move things around. And he also gave me a couple of spiral rivets, or crown head rivets. They're for like putting on nameplates and stuff like that, just like Adam did on his logo there that he made on the welding positioner. And I thank you very much. I did try these on, and they always feel tight when you first get them, and I think my hands are getting fatter. We'll see if we can stretch them in there. Sometimes I have fear of wearing too tight a glove when you TIG welding, because if you ever had one that got real hot real fast and is shrunk on your finger, it will make you cry like a baby. And these are really nice. These are handmade, or these are custom made in his local area there too, I think, because he was talking about it. And Yellowstone Leather Products, Idaho Falls, Idaho. Now these are actually made right here in the States, and I mean they do feel really good. Genuine buckskin. Now these are 9.5. See, that's the problem, is I don't pay attention to what size I am or not, and they'll be comfortable on Vanessa. I think she was already out here and we were kind of playing with it, and I think she definitely, but she does need to have protection when she's helping me lift something on the table and stuff like that. And she's out here a lot when I need her, and my shoulder's been thanking her every time. I'm just going to set it here. All right. Thank you very much. All right, Robert D. He sent me a couple packages. So this letter went with the second one there, and actually the first package, he actually sent a can with some oil, and the oil kind of went all over, so that's why I kept that box there, and I kind of got this out so it wouldn't. But his second letter came in, and his second package came in with no problem, and I haven't yet tried that oil yet, but I'll keep you informed on that. Excuse me. And so we're gonna move on. Nick Rutusi, I believe is the pronunciation. I'm gonna go with that one. And you see me wearing the Lincoln fabric jacket. It's the best way I could put it, welding jacket, but it's the fabric one, it's not the leather one. And some rod, and he's also given me some gloves, welding gloves over the last couple years here. And right around, I think it was right around Christmas time there, yeah, 12/26/14. You can't get much closer to Christmas than that. And he sent me a nice Lincoln leather welding jacket. Now I don't do too much portable work. In fact, actually I'm going to sell my portable welder this year, and the trailer and everything all in one package. But every once in a while I get out and I still, every once in a while you're in that position and you're welding overhead or you're welding, and if this saves one molten BB from hitting anywhere, everybody to talk about their injuries, and I've welded overhead and on vessels and things like that throughout the years, and I have a good belt line scar. I've had a couple down in the lower skivvies. I have had molten lava, it feels like molten lava, slag fall from a B&A crane and go right between my field jacket. I had a hard hat and a field jacket, tool bag, another bag filled with slugging wrenches, and I was ducking to go into the B&A crane, and that slag went right between my field jacket and there, and I had this full load, and it actually, you go into that feeling where you lock up, and I got a pretty good scar on that still. You know, I've had my burns, and I've never ever had a nice leather jacket. I've had a lot of second hands, and I've sweated in them. Yeah, you smell just like a go-go girl on heat, but they're well worth the protection. All right, and I thank you very much, Nick, and also he's given me a pretty good collection. I don't know how many pounds of brazing rod I'm up to, and here's some variables on different thicknesses of stainless steel, and here's some SR70 rod, 1/16. I use a lot of that, and I think this is aluminum bronze in this tube here, so I'm pretty well good to go on the rod, and I thank you very much. I just went down to the welding store and I was getting some other things there, but I was like, you know what, I'm pretty well set on rod. I might need to pick up some more silicone bronze, just because I've been just missing out on getting that. That concludes, no I don't. I did get this last year, and it's been sitting and leaning for a long time, and I don't know if I'm going to actually I'm not going to take this out of the box, but Scott Smith actually sent me a balancing jig for balancing shafts and things like this, a static balancer. And I want to go ahead and I want to do several things in the shop here, but I would like to have I have a couple things that I would like to have another flat spot to set these up on, that I know I'm not going to pull these off of here and set something else on there, okay? Because all right, I can fill a flat spot just as well as the rest of you. All right, I wanted to hit this because I've been neglecting this, and I just also want to let you know that it's not a regular gig of mine to do viewer appreciation. I have been pretty good on it, and I probably have a couple things there that I hadn't mentioned or said anything about. But what I'm going to start doing from this point on is, instead of making a promise to actually show it in a video or the thank you on the video, I will be sending you some kind of swag from Turn Right Machine Works. And let's move on to looking at a few more projects, just like I was talking about with this and regrinding jaws. I think that's going to be a good video to set up and show how I do. There's a lot of guys out there that got videos already on dressing jaws and truing them up, and everybody has their little bit different way of holding the proper pressure and everything else on the jaws, so that when they're in their operation, they're actually being ground to hold in the direction that you're trying to hold your part, and they repeat. And that's the whole thing. Hold it as close as you can and repeat. and it's really something that needs to be done periodically, because chuck jaws don't stay 100% all the time anyway. The best ones are the ones that you can physically adjust, and then you can put a nice round bar in there and adjust them. Okay, let's keep rolling on with this video, and we're going to walk right on through the shop here and kind of put together the rest of what we wanted to put out to you today. Okay, as we head on out of the shop, I wanted to stop by this spot right here, because eventually I'm going to be redoing my cabinet here, redoing the face, moving the glass inside, bringing my speakers outside, getting a cup holder, and modifying the cabinet. But I also want to designate this side right here for my collection of community stickers. All the guys in the community are passing stickers back and forth, and this is going to be my designated item to put all my stickers on. So I just went looking for Adam's new sticker. I have it somewhere, and there's 3 places I leave things. That's the shop, the computer, or my side of the dinner table. But anyway, I have his other 2 here, and I'm going to put probably the black one, and I'm going to put the white one somewhere else. These 2 I actually consider collector's items, because they are Adam's very first ones, I got those here. Randy Richards sent me some of his, so I'm going to be putting one on here, and that's why I keep the envelope and everything else. So I got an address to send back, and of course I got one of these a while back, but I have another one now of Keith Ruckers, and I'm going to put one of those up there. I happen to have another one from Pearson Steel. Of course, he's not in the community, but he is one, nice sticker, and got steel. It fits right in there, even though he's not a community member. One of the latest ones I got is one of Tom's, so I'm going to be putting the ox tool. It's going to be on the side here. And thank you very much, Tom, for sending those when you got them. And let me move on. All right, and Ray's Garage, he's got several different styles. There's the white and the black. There's a nice oval. That one looks pretty on there. I like that. I'll pick one of Ray's there and get that in there. And Jody, I think he has a new one now, but Jody at weldingtipsandtrick.com, he's going on a box here too, and he really is in our community. And he is, God's honest truth, my motivator in doing videos. When I watched Jody's videos, and it took a while to spur the interest of doing videos, but he had every indirectly related push to me to do videos by me just watching his videos. We did communicate. We communicated via email, through comments and things like that. And also to my very first introduction video there, Welcome to Turnright Machine Works, or Welcome to Turnright, or A Day at Turnright Machine Works. I forget which one I made first now. It's hard to keep track of them when you get over a couple hundred. Anyway, I pointed it out to Jody because it meant a lot for him to watch it, and he gave me the comment that showed me signs of, go for it, man. And I thank you very much, Jody. And anyway, I finally found a place for one of your stickers, and I do like your new one there. I like your avatar there. If your new stickers like your avatar, I think it's way cooler than the hogs. But I'm just not a down hard hog fan. That's all. Anybody else I got in here? Oh, tactical keychains. I had your sticker. I put it in the cupboard cabinet. There's one place that I haven't looked for it yet, and that was in all my paperwork for the very first giveaway, and it might actually be hiding in there. but I want one of your stickers to put up on here, and I really haven't found it yet, but I remember you giving me one at that first year, and I stuck it because I knew I had I thought there was going to be sometime down the road there was going to be a collection of stickers, and then also I'm going to be getting one of my own Get Her Done stickers on here now. I just haven't, I didn't have the right spot to collect my stickers. I have a mural on the back of my truck window that Vanessa got me several years back, and that is an ideal place to put them. I mean, I'm even tempted to scrape that off and put them on there, but it's a little more energy than I feel like right now. Okay, a lot of people ask about the blue lathe that I got last year, or was it the year before? It's still sitting here ready to be placed down, and I'm seriously thinking this year. I have several accessories here. This is all wooden floor in here, so I'm going to be picking some areas that I want it to be, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a hole in the floor and pour a concrete pad for it, and I'm going to start setting up my machinery where I want to have them in this section right here. But I just wanted to touch bases, and I'm dying to actually get it going and have a decent small lathe, and also be able to cut metric threads when I do need to. It's pretty neat because this has got both combination dials on it, and hey, I just want to let you know that it's still a project, and I'll probably be doing a video of my setting up of the lathe all the way from pouring the pad, getting it set up, getting it leveled, and putting it all together, and its first firing off and things like that. This is a good video subject, I feel. So just kind of things that I've been thinking about it, and it'll kind of cover some of the requests that I've been getting along the way. Now, as you're thinking at it, go ahead and add your request into the comments of this video, and then it's a uniform place where I can go back and I can pick out my feedback really quick and easy. So it's gonna be fun to play with that. Okay, bringing the camera around so you can see that I'm not gonna be, I'm wall to wall with projects and materials and stuff like that, waiting for jobs or jobs themselves stacked around. Anyway, we stop here because this is the new 520 toolbox. I bought it already for this year. I haven't even opened this. We're going to have a video probably next week. It's going to start off, and we're going to open up the box, and we're going to start opening up some of the items here. Some of these items I actually was sent back see if this actually has a date on it. 12/10. This one here, December 9th. And these all came in after we were final on the Toolbox giveaway, and just proceeded to hang on to them or keep them for 2015. And then we have another item in here from Robert D. This was the box that his other stuff came in, but he also put in a couple tools to go for the toolbox. So I've been keeping these aside, and I have a couple other ones in some of the areas around here, and I'm going to be bringing these out, and we're going to get rolling next week on what's in your box toolbox giveaway 2015. And I'm going to be changing over and initiating the new pages, the new site. The rules are going to be the same as last year for nominating yourself or somebody nominating you. So start working, get your videos going, because it's going to take a video nomination just like last year. If you want, I'm going to leave Crispin, Toby's, and Cammy's entries up on my website, and the YouTube links to that, Also, you'll be able to see those on my feature page for the giveaway for last year. They'll be posted there as well. And all I can say is, let's get the ball rolling. We do have a surprise. I'm going to be announcing special help from the community. Okay, we come into my big lathe here, the clothing. This is a 17-inch clothing Colchester, and I have about an 80-inch bed on here. Tracer attachment on the back side here, and this thing is needing a little bit of maintenance. It's been bothering me from, or not bothering me. It's something that I have to compensate for a lot, and I know it's going to go to a certain point, and it really does need to be fixed. And it is also something that coincides with some of my requests, and that is doing some maintenance work. And this maintenance here, because I want to go ahead and I want to maintenance my carriage on the lathe, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, and it's not drastically bad for the age of this lathe, which is the same age as I am, and it may be holding up better than I am. Anyhow, so a video I like to create a project doing is taking my carriage apart and dimensionally create a drawing for the feed nut and the lead screw in the cross feed. And I don't know if we'll go ahead and we'll do one in the compound as well, or if that will be another project video or whatever. But the main video, and it might entail a few other things here, and while we have it that far apart, we might go ahead and we might take off the tracer and clean that up, and we also might drop the front of the apron down, and we might lift the bed off, flip it over, clean it, redo the felts, put it back down. And these felts, I created the housings for them, and you know, they do need to be replaced from time to time, because you just don't want your stuff getting underneath the bed. This compound has got probably 50-60 thousandths in there. I can rotate the dial on the other side and tell exactly how much by the dial. And let me go back to 0 here and flip it the other direction. Yeah, well, I was close, 50 thousandths on the dial, and I was just visually guesstimating there. So my thinking of 50 thousandths there, you probably, and it probably depends on where it's at, because it may be a little bit more towards that way, or it might be a little bit more towards this way here, because you have the most common area. And if you use your machine only that far in one spot, it's going to wear, and the rest of it's going to stay like a virgin. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to open it up. We're going to make a drawing. We're going to put this together again. We're going to make our parts, and then we're going to take this apart and put this together, because sometimes, and this is where the need of the video is, sometimes you only have one machine. So you need to use that machine to make the new part. And just because a machine is worn and has wear doesn't mean that you can't compensate and make a good part to replace the part that's worn. So that as a video, I think is a, all right, you let me know. All right, let's move on out, and I have another project. We're going to go outside, because this is going to be not that the project's going to be an outside project, but the project I'm going to be working on is outside. Okay, we come outside here next to my new family vehicle. Hey, yeah, it's only right. You get married, and then you got to get rid of all your fun toy cars, and then you get the family van, and you get the pickup truck, and you go through a time period of your life where you have to dedicate your your ride for getting you around as a family vehicle. Then your kids, they grow up and they move out, and then it's just you and your wife. So now you get to pick a new kind of family car, and that's what I call this. This is my new family car. I got a good deal on it. It's 30 years old, and I paid $3,500 for this. It sat for 7 years. It's got 70,000 miles on it when I bought it. I think it's got 75 on it now. I've played around with it. I've tinkered on it. My best friend took care of the paint job for me last year. You know, modify a little bit on it, and I've been just kind of fixing little things on it that put it back in its original state, and that's kind of what I'm enjoying. Why we're out here is because I want to bring the luster back into it. The machining aspect of this, I'm going to jack it up and I'm going to be pulling this off, and I'm waiting on the rear rotors. They were on back order. I've already received the front rotors, and I've already cross drilled those. I showed some pictures of that process and doing it on my Facebook page. When I get the rear ones here, I'm going to go ahead and do a video of cross drilling the rear rotors the way I did the front ones. And I got to rebuild the calipers because it's not in my pocketbook to replace them. One of the 4 cylinders is over $1,000 just for the caliper itself. So let's go ahead and rebuild them. But while we're out here, we're going to go ahead and pull the wheels. We're going to have the tires dismounted, and then I'm going to go ahead and spin and polish the rims in the lathe. Now, I've never done it, but I plan on doing it. And I've already purchased a few things. I actually have some polishing wheels, and I have a finishing or a mirror type mat, and then I have a hard mat for cutting and buffing. I also have 3 different kinds of rouge that break it on down for standard, and also cut and color. And cut and color is basically your rough and then your medium. And then I have another bar in here, and this should help take it right on down to the mirror. And that's going to be full video so that I can bring these back to the way they came off the showroom floor. And anyway, these lug nuts are old and shot. I've already purchased a new full new set. The lugs are all aluminum, and then they're polished. And I plan on bringing the luster of the rim itself out to the luster of the lug nut, and then I'll redo the center. These were black, anodized black. They were worn. I already kind of spun them and took the finish off so that I wanted to see what that looked like. Now, you can buy these center hubs exactly the way I want them, but they're like 130, 140 bucks each. You know, you pick and choose what you want to spend your money on and what's in the budget. All right. Now, I just finished putting in a new stereo, which it needed a new stereo, and I fixed the antenna end on it. I now have Bluetooth in here, and now I can drive hands-free and not be accident prone with my phone like so many people are. So it kind of brought this 30-year-old ride up to par. But anyway, this is another project. Now, I need to spin these. Okay, we're going to spin these in the lathe, and then we're going to counter spin. First, it'll determine on what direction we're spinning this. Then we will spin the rim in the opposite direction. And so I'm going to be making an adapter for one of my grinders to go on there. Now, the mat speed, or the speed that the buffing pads, I think they can't exceed 3,500 or so, but I know that buffing doesn't actually happen at high speed. Buffing is more of a pressure and rouge contact, and so it's not so much go balls out. And so I was looking, and these small grinders like this, they rotate. It says 10,000 RPMs, but I believe It may be on the motor. It does go through a reduction gear, but I don't believe it's 1-to-1 or so. It's going from a small pinion to a ring gear, so it's some kind of reduction, but I still think it's probably too fast. And that brought me to this antique porta cable. This is a nice slow RPM motor, and I think this is going to be the perfect tool to go ahead and modify and hold my buffing mats there. And so we're going to go ahead and in our video we'll be making the tool to go ahead and adapt from here and give me a spindle that will, both of these are the same bore hole, so I can run the same mandrel on them. And I got 2 of each, because I also want to watch and progress my finish on each wheel with each mat. That's just like in using files. Truly, I mean, if you're gonna really appreciate your file, you're gonna do a lot of things that we don't always do to our files. But one is, if you're gonna use a file on bronze, you always use it on bronze. If you're gonna use it on steel, you always use it on steel. You always clean it with a card file and not with a wire wheel. You always push forward, you never drop back. So there's rules like that, but they apply also with buffing wheels and stuff like that. If you're going to buff on aluminum, you only buff aluminum. Don't flip-flop them around. For the nitpicking, high quality buff. I'm not an expert, but I do know that talking with other people that have done it for me in the past, they have given me these bits of information, and I take them at full value. And so that's going to be another project. There's going to be a lot of other projects along the way, but these are some of the ones that I think would be interesting for you to observe while I do them. All right, so that kind of concludes this video, letting you know where I've been, where I plan on going, and let's get her done.